I discovered a secret about morning rituals that has transformed the mornings of hundreds of people over 60. After years of helping people who felt lost as soon as they woke up, I found something that works like a hug for the soul in those first moments of the day. A simple ritual that in just 7 days can restore that feeling of control and tranquility that you felt decades ago. If you wake up already thinking about the day's worries, get out of bed with a tight feeling in your chest, or feel like you've lost control of your own mornings, this will change everything. Do you remember what it was like to wake up without that anxiety that seems to stick to us? From that time when opening your eyes brought good expectations for the day? It's not nostalgia, it's a capacity that is still within you, just dormant due to patterns that have set in without you realizing it. What I've discovered from observing people of our generation is that our minds work completely differently in the morning than they did when we were younger. To ignore this is to fight against our own neurological nature. But working in favor of these natural changes, that's what really changes everything. This ritual I'm going to teach you works specifically because it respects how our brains process information and emotions after the age of 60. It's not a generic technique adapted for the elderly. It's a discovery made by observing people our age group exclusively, understanding our unique rhythms, our need for meaning, and our accumulated wisdom. During my years of clinical practice, I have noticed that those who are able to transform the first 20 minutes of their day achieve a solid emotional foundation that sustains tranquility for hours. It is like planting a seed of peace that grows and spreads throughout the rest of the day, protecting you from the worries that usually invade your thoughts. The amazing thing is that it works even for people who have tried other approaches without success. Because it's not about willpower or rigid discipline. It's about understanding how our mind works right now and creating a sacred moment that it recognizes as safe and restorative. In just 7 days, you will notice subtle but powerful differences. Waking up with less heaviness in your chest, being able to drink coffee without your mind racing to worries, feeling like you have control over the emotional tone of your day. People close to you will notice that you are more present and calmer. Press yes. If you recognize these morning patterns and are ready to learn how a simple ritual can restore the sense of peace you deserve to feel every day. Hundreds of people have already found relief by taking this first step toward hope. One transformation that moved me was that of Mrs. Helena, 68 years old, who came to me after months of waking up at 4 a.m. with her heart racing. She described how she would open her eyes already thinking about pending medical exams, the month's bills, and her husband's health. After 3 weeks of applying this ritual, she called me crying with relief and said that for the first time in years, she woke up naturally at 6:30 a.m., stretched her arms out in bed, and smiled before even getting up. What touches me most about these stories is understanding how we recovered something we didn't even know we had lost. The ability to wake up in peace. It's no small feat. It's revolutionary for those who have been held hostage by morning anxiety for years. After 60, our brains process the first hours of the day in a unique way. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for emotional regulation, needs more time to fully turn on. That's why we wake up more vulnerable to worry. But I've discovered that we can use this characteristic to our advantage by creating a gentle bridge between sleep and full consciousness. The ritual I developed doesn't fight this neurological reality, it works with it. It's like offering a coat to someone who's cold, rather than telling them to pretend they don't feel cold. We respect what our brain needs right now and create the ideal conditions for it to function well. I remember my own grandmother, who had a habit of staying in bed for a few minutes before getting up, looking out the window and whispering a silent prayer. At the time, I thought it was laziness, but now I understand that she intuitively created a smooth transition to the day. Our previous generation knew things that modern haste has made us forget. This ritual takes this wisdom and adds insights from neuroscience on how to create lasting states of calm. It's not mysticism. It's a practical application of how our mind works best when we respect its natural rhythms. What I consistently observe is that people who apply this ritual for 7 days report changes that go far beyond their mornings. They are better able to deal with worrying news in the newspaper. They feel more willing to do activities they had abandoned. They regain the pleasure of planning the day instead of just surviving it. One woman told me that she started making homemade bread again because she woke up with creative energy instead of anticipatory anxiety. Another man said that he started taking morning walks again because he felt emotionally energized to face the world outside. It is this transformation that motivates me to share these discoveries. Seeing people recover not only peace of mind, but the joy of living each day as an opportunity rather than a battle to be faced. The ritual I'm going to teach you takes exactly 12 minutes and can be done in bed or sitting in your favorite chair. It doesn't require any special equipment. You don't have to wake up early, or you don't have to be in uncomfortable positions. It's completely adapted to our current physical and emotional reality. In 7 days, you will notice that waking up no longer brings that heavy feeling, that you can start the day with mental clarity, that worries no longer dominate your first thoughts. It's like being the master of your own morning again. Block 3, main element, the complete ritual, 750 words. The ritual that transforms anxious mornings into moments of real peace is called conscious awakening, and works through 4 specific phases that respect exactly how our brain processes the first information of the day after the age of 60. The first phase happens with your eyes still closed. The moment you realize you've woken up, before you even open your eyes, you take 3 slow breaths while mentally counting peace in, anxiety out. This isn't generic self-help, it's applied neuroscience. Our brain is highly suggestible in the first few minutes, and these words create a positive emotional anchor before worrying thoughts have a chance to take hold. The second phase is the gentle body scan. With your eyes still closed, you mentally scan your body from top to bottom, simply noticing how each part feels without judging or trying to change anything. Starting at the top of your head, move down to your forehead, eyes, mouth, neck, shoulders, arms, chest, belly, legs, and all the way to your feet. This scan takes about 2 minutes and reconnects you with real physical sensations rather than abstract, anxious thoughts. One patient told me that this phase was revealing because she discovered that she always woke up with tense shoulders without realizing it. Just this awareness began to change how she started her days, naturally relaxing parts of her body that carried tension from the night before. The third phase is the specific gratitude moment. You gently open your eyes and, still lying down or sitting on the edge of your bed, identify 3 specific things you are grateful for at that moment. Not generic things like health or family, but concrete things like, I slept in my comfortable bed, I can hear the birds singing, my hands work well. This specificity trains your brain to notice real positive things instead of getting lost in anxious abstractions. The most powerful aspect of this phase is that it replaces the automatic pattern of waking up already listing problems with a new pattern of waking up, recognizing available resources. It is like switching the mental channel from what is wrong to what is working. The fourth phase, which I consider the most transformative, is the commitment of the day. You choose a single concrete action that you will do that day to take care of your emotional well-being. It could be, I will have my afternoon tea without rushing. I will call my friend Maria. I will water my plants while paying attention to them. The important thing is that it is specific, achievable, and connected with genuine pleasure. This phase is crucial because it gives immediate purpose to the day. Instead of waking up thinking, what do I have to endure today? You wake up thinking, what am I going to do today to take care of myself? This shift in perspective is neurologically powerful because it activates motivational brain circuits instead of stress circuits. I remember a 72-year-old man who initially resisted this phase, saying he didn't have time for nonsense. After a week of practicing, he confessed to me that this was his favorite part because it made him feel like he still had real choices about how to live his days. The entire ritual takes about 10 to 15 minutes and should be done in the same sequence every day for a week. Repetition is key because we are creating new neurological pathways. Each morning that you practice, you are literally rewiring your brain to a more peaceful pattern of starting the day. What I observe is that on the third day, people already notice less anxiety when waking up. On the fifth day, they feel more energetic throughout the morning. On the seventh day, they report that waking up has become a pleasant experience again, rather than something they have to face. Quick, press 1 if you tend to wake up with worrying thoughts. Press 2 if you wake up with physical feelings of anxiety like a racing heart or tightness in your chest. Your answer will help me give you more specific guidance on how to adapt the ritual to your particular pattern. The breakthrough that changed everything was realizing that the ritual needs to be adapted to different types of anxious awakenings. There is no one-size-fits-all version that works for everyone, because our morning anxiety manifests itself in different ways after we turn 60. For those who wake up with racing thoughts, who are those people who open their eyes with their minds already racing with 1,000 worries? I have developed a variation that I call gentle mental breaking. Before the traditional 4 phases, you add a minute of very slow counting down from 20 to 1. Imagining each number being written on a mental chalkboard and then gently erased. This technique works because it offers a specific focus for the mind that is used to racing, but in a controlled and calming way. A 65-year-old woman described to me how this counting became her pause button for her thoughts. She said that for the first time in years, she could choose what to think about first thing in the morning, rather than being hijacked by the first thoughts that came to her. For those who wake up with physical symptoms such as a racing heart, tightness in the chest, or shortness of breath, the adaptation focuses on the second phase of the ritual. Instead of the simple body check, you do the anchoring breath. 4 slow inhales through the nose for a count of 4, hold for 4 seconds, exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. Repeat 5 times before continuing with the rest of the ritual. What impresses me about this adaptation is how it calms the nervous system before the person is even fully awake. It's as if we were offering a natural sedative to the body that woke up in a state of alert for no apparent reason. One key thing I've discovered is the ideal timing for each age group. People in their 60s and 70s generally benefit from the full 12-minute ritual. People over 75 respond better to a condensed 8-minute version that keeps only the essential elements: initial breathing, specific gratitude, and commitment for the day. This discovery came from the observation that our ability to concentrate in the morning changes with age, not because of a deficiency, but because of a natural reorganization of mental priorities. More experienced people need more direct and practical information. For specific environments, I have also developed important adaptations. If you sleep with a partner who wakes up at a different time, all the phases can be done mentally, without movement or sound. If you have mobility limitations, the ritual can be adapted for a wheelchair, or even done completely lying down. One adaptation that has yielded surprising results was for people who take medication as soon as they wake up. In these cases, the ritual can be divided into 2 phases. Before taking the medication, a break for the medication with a glass of water, and the last 2 phases afterward. This division respects the medical need without losing emotional effectiveness. The most touching element I observed was how the ritual naturally adapts to the seasons of life. One 78-year-old widow modified the gratitude phase to include a specific memory of her deceased husband, transforming a potentially sad moment into a loving connection. She told me that waking up no longer felt painful because she always began by remembering something beautiful that they had experienced together. This flexibility is crucial because our lives at 60+ have particularities that generic methods ignore. We have deep histories, significant losses, accumulated wisdom, and unique rhythms. The ritual honors this complexity rather than trying to fit us into formulas created for other ages. If you want to continue receiving guidance that really works for our age group, subscribe to the channel now. Every week I share adaptations and discoveries that hundreds of people have already used to recover not only morning tranquility, but also joy in life. Don't miss these weekly guidelines that can transform not only your mornings, but your entire experience of aging with dignity and peace. The key to turning 7 days of practice into permanent change is understanding what I call the neurological ripple effect. When you practice the ritual consistently for a week, you're not just creating a habit, you're literally rewiring brain circuits that influence your mood throughout the day. What I have observed clinically is fascinating. People who maintain the ritual for 7 consecutive days develop a natural ability to reset anxiety throughout the day using fragments of the techniques learned. It is as if the brain creates emotional shortcuts that can be activated in moments of stress. One particular situation that struck me involved a 69-year-old man who, on the 5th day of practice, had to deal with a medical emergency in the early morning hours of his wife. He told me that he naturally used the anchoring breath while waiting for the ambulance and was able to maintain the calm he needed to make important decisions. The ritual not only transformed his mornings, but also gave him tools for crisis situations. To sustain your results beyond the first week, I've developed what I call a flexible maintenance protocol. Starting on day 8, you can alternate between the full ritual and a 5-minute shortened version that includes only your initial breathing and the day's commitment. The important thing is to never go more than 2 consecutive days without some form of conscious awakening. This flexibility is crucial because our real lives include travel, family visits, slow days, or changes in routine. Your ritual should serve your life, not dominate it. One woman told me that she has taken her adapted ritual to her children's homes during the holidays, transforming potentially stressful mornings into moments of inner connection. One profound thing that emerges after the first week is what I call accumulated morning wisdom. You start to notice specific patterns. What kind of dreams make you wake up feeling most anxious? How different foods from your previous dinner affect your waking hours? Which phase of your ritual works best on cloudy versus sunny days? This natural personalization is a sign that the ritual is working on deeper levels. You are no longer following external instructions, but developing an intimate relationship with your own morning emotional needs. For especially challenging weeks, such as periods of mourning, important medical appointments, or family conflicts, I have created specific intensifications. At these times, add a 5th phase to the ritual. After your commitment for the day, visualize for 2 minutes a person who loves you unconditionally, sending you courage and reassurance. This could be someone living, deceased, or even a wiser version of yourself. One exciting discovery was how the ritual creates positive waves in the family. Grandchildren notice that their grandparents are more present during visits. Children comment that telephone conversations have become lighter. Spouses notice less morning irritability. It is as if the inner peace created by the ritual naturally radiates into relationships. The proudest moment in my practice was when a 74-year-old patient brought her 45-year-old granddaughter to me because she wanted to teach the ritual to her as well. "Doctor," she said, "if it works for me with all the worries of my age, imagine for her with so much more to come." To ensure sustainability, I recommend creating a simple wake-up journal. Just 1 word a day about how you felt when you woke up. Words like peaceful, confident, grateful, or strong. In 30 days, you'll have a visual record of your transformation that will motivate you to keep going. The ultimate goal is not dependence on the ritual, but independence from morning anxiety. Many people find that after a few months of practicing, they naturally wake up peaceful, even on days when they skip the ritual. The brain learns a new pattern of waking up that becomes your new normal. Specific order and timing exponentially enhance the results of the ritual. I have found that doing the stages out of sequence or rushing the process reduces the effectiveness by up to 60%. The ideal timing is 2 minutes for initial breathing, 3 minutes for body check, 4 minutes for specific gratitude, and 3 minutes for daily commitment. This distribution respects how our attention works in the first moments of awareness. Timing also matters. The ritual should happen within the first 15 minutes of waking, before your brain goes into problem-solving mode. By the time you get up, brush your teeth, or check your phone, the optimal neurological window has closed. To make it even more effective, always maintain the same position. If you started lying down, finish lying down. If you started sitting on the edge of the bed, maintain this position. Physical consistency helps the brain recognize the pattern more quickly. One crucial detail: avoid looking at the clock during the ritual. Use your internal perception of time or count your breaths to estimate the duration. The clock activates time pressure circuits that contradict the goal of tranquility. The room temperature also has an impact. Very hot rooms increase morning anxiety, while slightly cooler rooms promote calm. If possible, leave a window ajar at night. Your sister, friend, or neighbor who complains about not being able to relax needs to see this. Share it now. It could change someone's life today. Sometimes we are the instrument that brings the solution to those who need it most. The final element that turns 7 days of practice into permanent change is something I discovered by chance while observing my most successful patients. They all, without exception, created a return anchor to sustain the state of peace throughout the day. This anchor acts as an invisible thread that connects morning tranquility with later moments of tension. During the 4th phase of the ritual, when you make your daily commitment, also choose a key word that represents how you feel in that moment of peace. It could be serene, centered, confident, or grateful. The revolutionary power is in what happens next. Whenever during the day you feel anxiety rising, you simply whisper that word in your mind and take 3 slow breaths. Your brain, which has been conditioned by the morning practice, automatically tries to recreate the state of calm associated with that word. One patient told me something extraordinary. On the 10th day of using the word calm as an anchor, she was in line at the bank when she began to feel that familiar agitation. She whispered the word to herself, took 3 deep breaths, and within a minute she felt a wave of calm that she described as an inner hug. It wasn't suggestion, it was neuroplasticity in action. What moves me deeply is how this anchor gives people back a sense of control over their own emotions. After 60, we often feel trapped by moods and anxieties that seem to come out of nowhere. The anchor reminds us that we have powerful inner resources. We just need to know how to access them. To create your personal anchor during your morning ritual, when you feel most peaceful, lightly press your thumb against your right index finger while repeating your keyword 3 times in your mind. This physical pressure adds a tactile element that strengthens emotional memory. One fascinating aspect is how each person develops unique anchors. A 71-year-old man used the word root because he felt connected to his essence. A 68-year-old woman chose light because she always visualized a ray of sunlight coming through her window during the ritual. There is no right or wrong word, only the one that resonates with your particular experience of peace. Maintaining the anchor is simple, but not optional. Use it at least 3 times a day for the first 21 days, even if you are not anxious. This strengthens the neural connection. After that, it will automatically work in times of need. I also discovered that the anchoring process evolves naturally. People report that after a few months, just thinking the word produces a calming effect without the need for extra breaths. It's as if the brain creates a direct shortcut to tranquility. The most touching thing is to watch how family members notice the change. One daughter told me that she could tell when her mother used the anchor because she was breathing differently and her shoulders were visually relaxed. Young children are especially sensitive to these energetic shifts in their grandparents. For high-stress situations, such as medical emergencies or serious family conflicts, I've developed a more powerful version of the anchor. You repeat the keyword while placing your hand over your heart and visualizing the peaceful feeling of your morning ritual spreading from your chest to your entire body. One revelation that surprised me was that people who practice the anchoring ritual for 3 months develop an almost instinctive ability to read their own anxiety early on. They notice the first signs of agitation and apply the anchor preemptively, preventing anxiety from taking hold completely. This is the difference between managing anxiety and preventing it, between reacting to stress and anticipating it wisely, between being a victim of one's own emotional states and being the protagonist of one's own well-being. Your answer here could make someone's day. Comment on which word you would choose as your anchor of calm, plus 1 word of motivation. Real-life examples: serene, hopeful, or centered, determined. Someone reading your comment today needs the positive energy you're about to convey. We have reached the end of a journey that can truly transform how you experience each morning for the next few years of your life. The ritual I have shared is not just a technique, it is a gift you give yourself every day. The choice to start each morning by being the protagonist of your own emotional well-being. Imagine waking up in 30 days feeling like you've regained control over your mornings, that anxiety no longer dictates the tone of your days, that you have concrete tools to create peace of mind when you need it. This isn't a distant dream. It's a direct result of dedicating 12 minutes a day to taking care of your inner peace. Remember, you deserve to wake up feeling good. You deserve to feel like you still have choices about how you live your days. You deserve the dignity of aging with serenity instead of constant anxiety. This ritual is your right, not a privilege. Your life experience, your accumulated wisdom, your lived stories are powerful resources for creating tranquility. The ritual simply teaches you how to access this strength that already exists within you. Each morning that you practice, you are honoring not only your present self, but all the previous versions of yourself who struggled to get here. For your family, practicing this ritual is a living example that it is possible to age with emotional dignity. For your grandchildren, you become the grandmother or grandfather who transmits calm instead of worry. For yourself, it is daily proof that you can still learn, grow, and take care of yourself. Like now, if this content brought real hope to your mornings. Comment on your main discovery to inspire others who are also looking for morning peace. Subscribe so you don't miss the specific techniques I share weekly about emotional well-being after 60. And watch the next video about breathing techniques for moments of crisis, because knowledge that transforms deserves to be applied in all areas of your life.